Hi, everybody. Welcome back to SaaS Founder Stories. My name is David Brennan, and today I have Kutlay, who is the CTO and co-founder of Rently on the show. Welcome to the show.
Hello, David. I'm happy to be here.
I'm excited to chat with you about Rently, and we were kind of talking before we started recording, and I love what you're going to share today about your guys' journey and I can't wait to dig into your pivot. So tell me a little bit about Rently and your origin story.
I will start with myself, then more related stuff about Rently. I was born in Turkey. I grew up in Turkey and I studied university in Istanbul and I started working there and I lived there until age of 36. I was in Turkey and then I moved to Sweden, which is the city that I met with my partner and one of my best friends, Tarek Stafford. He's our CMO, CPO. He's a great guy. And we were working in the same company with him. And in one of the stand-ups, after one of the stand-ups, he came to me and asked me if I know certain technology that he was working on previously before Rently. And he said when he saw me, it was like a computer game. I had a light on my head. This guy is crazy enough to go into this journey with me. And then we start our journey together, working on something else, which didn't work because of COVID. But then we started Rently almost 3 years ago with the ideation and start developing part. And Rently is an end-to-end rental platform with financial services for landlords and tenants. I want to cover this in three phases, which is discovery. What we do is we have a marketplace like all other companies, like Airbnb. You can go and search for a rental space. We don't earn money off of this. It's for free for landlords to advertise here. And we have great marketplace. If you have seen, we show all the restaurants around the closest metro station, how long it will take to walk with that to the station, so forth and so on. And the second part is contracting, which we started our journey with, which I will talk in the future in this podcast, which we do renewals and all of our financial contracts on our contract engine. And the last part, which is the golden part for us, which is payments and financial services. It is the part that we make money on. Yeah, this is the rent in a nutshell.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think just so I'm clear on the product, obviously it's a rental marketplace, but for you, that what separates you, and I thought this is really neat when I looked on the website, is that you're actually offering the financial service side of deposits. So if a
Yeah,
renter can't afford a deposit, they're using you to get that. And so, is that right?
yeah, it is. It is a bit it's not just financial. What we if I want to talk about, if I going to talk about our ideal customer is tenants and landlords on low trust markets, which is not like Europe, right? It's like Singapore, which there are a lot of scams and people have various income levels, which people need support in financial side of the things. But besides that, a rental lease is a premium contract, right? Like you pay
Mm.
a lot of money, and most of the people is up to 42% of their income is going with the rent. The thing that they get is not a premium service, right? When you are a renter, you have to deal with a lot of things, and landlords are trying to scam you in certain parts of the world, and they don't want to give your deposit back. So besides the money, we help people on emotional side. We try to become like a BMW or Mercedes. When you are buying those brands, you are buying the safety, you are buying the trust. We are trying to give that with our digital identity, AML checks, and credit score. Everyone gets into our system, gets checked in those places, so we know that you are a legit person who has certain financial instruments, income that you can pay um, certain loans or whatever you have to pay. And we are doing digital identity and report of the place before you rent, because most of the places in Singapore, which we are based in, are being rented out with furniture. And so we have a detailed report before you enter the place, and we secure it digitally. So if there is a disagreement between landlord and tenant, we can use those documents to mediate the problems in between. So that's the premium service that we are giving. It's not just the financial.
Yeah.
It's we are with you all the way from beginning to end as Rently.
Yeah, that's actually really cool because I see that as like you're protecting the renter and the landlord at the same time by creating that trust in the system, right? Very cool. Um, so so let's chat about the start of Rently and the pivots, because I think this is one of the biggest things that founders stumble on personally is they get an idea in their head and they get super married to it, and then they build and build and they think they're going to build features to solve a problem, but there's so much wrong with what they're doing. You know, they don't have an ideal customer that actually has a problem that they're solving, and it's just an idea. So tell me about your guys' journey because I love what you did.
Like we exactly started as you said. We had an idea, our partners from Singapore had an idea about solving the problems around contracting and agents in Singapore. And we built our contract engine, which you can now create your contract in like minutes and signing digitally. But Singapore was not ready for like first signing digitally and using digital identity is a thing that they have. They do it very good. The system is, I think it needs to tailor it a bit more for the end user because it's not as easy as you can use in Europe. But it didn't work out. We couldn't sell to almost any agents. So the thing that we built for a year didn't work. We couldn't sell at the beginning of like 2 years ago. We were online with the product and we failed basically at the beginning. And then we pivoted to property management. We found a partner. We are still partners with them. We tried to solve their problem with property management, and also that failed because it was not a very, perfect fit for the market. Market had different opinions than us, so we failed second time. But the third time, 2023 August, my partner and our CEO Dom came up with the idea of this deposit financing, which is our flagship product, what we call Rently Care, and then it took off. And then we start building the tech around it. This is where our finance part comes in. We used our contract engine to write our own contracts now. It was not in vain. We are using our marketplace to to attract people, but these are not the places that we earn money off of because every country has their own property website, which is hard to get into. You need a lot of money, a lot of advertisements, which we don't possess, which we didn't possess. And then we start building our Rently Care. We worked on it. And then we signed with one of our biggest partners now, Habit, which is a co-living space. They are all around the world. But we start working with them in Singapore and Hong Kong. And with this partnership, what we figured out is we agreed with them that Rently Care will be their default when they are renting a room or renting any space in Singapore and Hong Kong. And then we start getting those service payments bundled with the rent.
Yeah.
So there is a huge value here, which is very hard to accomplish in this prop tech business, which is we don't see much companies who are successful except Airbnb or Booking.com, which are
Yeah.
very short-term leases. Now, the service fee that you pay, like Spotify or your gym membership, became a rent because it's now bundled in the rent. And it became the first thing that you pay, the thing that you pay on time, and the thing that you are gonna not pay the last because you need a space to live in. This gives us a lot of opportunities, right? Because the payment became rent. It was a service fee, now it's rent. And if you don't pay, you can face with eviction. So the rates of not paying our service fees got very, very low. So this became our golden nugget. And we found out after 1.5 years of being in the market. Like who would have known the things that they were saying was true, right? Build fast, fail faster, which we did twice. And then we found product market fit, which now we are earning money off of what we are successful about. Now we are building new products around payments because we figured out it is what people are looking for.
Hmm.
Property companies don't want to chase money, which we have seen with a couple of startups actually. I don't, Funding Society, they spend $90 million to get their $50 million back. So it's hard to get your money back, which what we are successful with.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really cool. So for you guys, so you know that I've got a couple software companies, and one of the first things we did at Arkeo was go to customers, and I think we're 150, 200 interviews in now of founders. And what did you guys learn from those first failures that you've implemented now in the day-to-day development process, ideation process, product process?
what we learned is don't try to build tech around anything you didn't test because your ideas are worthless, basically. Ideas are nice when you hear them. I have heard millions of ideas because I'm 41 and I was in this sector for more than 18 years. So I listened a lot of ideas which we didn't end up with anything. But as long as the moment that you find that you heal something that people, or you find something that people really, really need, then we start building tech around it. So we are doing the same in Dubai right now. We have an office in Dubai, and we have been there. We ask people that rent now, pay later is a good product, which because they pay their rent in 1 or 2 checks, which is a lot of money if you think about it yearly. And like property prices are very high in Dubai. Now we are doing manual deals there using like very little technology around payments and things, but we haven't built any technology around it yet. We are working on it now. So we now try something manually, which we can in our line of business, right? We can go and
Hmm.
talk with customers and we can create contracts and they can sign and we can go. They don't need to do it on the app at the beginning.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what we are doing right now.
I love that. One of the things, there's a lady named Nellie, and she was teaching this about 4 or 5 years ago about product, and it's like idea, tap to go and talk to the customer, get their feedback, really like maybe on a napkin. That's like the level of specificity in it. And then moving from there, once you get that feedback and you're like, okay, yes, this is something, then go like a little bit more fidelity, but not much, just like wireframes and go back. And then the next step after that was to actually like clickable prototypes before you ever wrote a line of code. Like, what it did is you had 100% verification on a product before you ever went and started building. And I think that's just one of the smartest things anyone has ever come up with because you can save yourself. I built a product for 8 years, and believe me, I'd have liked to have got a lot of that back. So, quick one for you. What's the one thing that the network can help you with? We'd love to ask this question and see how we can give back to you.
I think like I am searching for like, we are not searching for partnerships, to be honest. We are like in a very good state with our product. We are growing 20-25% month on month. And for the first time in our history, like investors are after us. Like we are doing this finance services in the, like we want to go to Australia, America, obviously biggest market, right? And GCC, which is like growing very fast. We are looking for partnerships and investors here. And Asia, obviously, we are in Asia. We want to go to other countries in Asia, which has the population of the world, right? It's
Yeah.
the like, yeah, it's the real opportunity. And they are low trust markets, which works for us very well. So, like, we are open for partnerships, and like that's how we grew up with one of our best partners, Habit. If they weren't like working with us this closely, we may not figure this out. What is the pain point in prop tech and
Yeah.
what brings value to people actually? So yeah.
Very cool. Well, we'll put it out there and hopefully we can find you some partners. Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much for
much.
coming on the show, and I look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you very much, David. It was great to talk with you.